Hello, and welcome to Urban Hood Money Talk. It's a fact that we need money to enjoy life and focus on the things that we really like. I'm your co host, Allie, and I'm here with Mushi Buyan. Our mission is helping you gain financial freedom. You're listening to one of our special weekly market talks, which provides news on the upcoming week that may be important to traders. And we're super excited that you're here with us.
Hello and welcome to Urban Hood Money Talk. I am Mushi Buyan. I will be your host today. Investing is just like a journey. You have to plan for it. You have to know your purpose. If it's a short-term trip, you are going to take certain things with you, or you're going to have when it comes to investing, you're going to learn certain things. If it's a long-term, you need to prepare more and just be ready for it. And when it comes to consumer price index, last week it came up 40 years high number. It almost touching 8%. Is a long time. That number is shocking. Since 2007, that this is ridiculous when you see that we went through a war, we went through the 9/11. We had so many things in this country that we went through turbulence. Now, currently what we are facing, this CPI, Consumer Price Index, is 40 years high number. So that's the reason that last week stock market went really down. Weekly, that by looking at this number, that you can see that NASDAQ, S&P, Dow Jones, all those big companies went down last week, 1%, 1.8%, 2% down weekly. NASDAQ, this is not good. CPI data that last Thursday came out, that they estimated it should be around 7.3%, but the actual is 7.5. We are on our way to touch it 8%. That's shocking. That you need to learn that what may happen with this rate, that what can you do as an investor to protect your money investment. And when this CPI goes up, that you see that things you buy, your clothes, apparel, the products is also price went up year over year. Last month of January, that it went up 1%, and the food we are buying is it's almost 1% up. Housing market is still keep going higher. Used car 1.5% up, and gasoline that we're buying it. Yeah, it just slowed down little bit, not much. It's 1% went down. We know month of January that gasoline price was also did not go high much, but everything you're buying, it just you need for your day-to-day need, food, clothes, house you rent, and the car you're buying, gas, everything price is going higher. What that means over countries in worldwide, that US has 7.5% inflation. With this rate, we are very close to touch 8%. And where countries like Japan is 1%. So it's a huge difference from other countries like Japan, China, India, that our inflation goes much higher. Our labor cost goes higher. Things to produce, things to buy, day-to-day needs is get higher and higher because of so many challenges, economic challenges we are facing, that we need to learn about that. So what that means to the stock market? Yes, last week we have seen the trend that sectors, that telecom went 3% down. Consumer discretionary, Tesla, Amazon, those companies' stocks, that part of consumer discretionary went down to 1.3%. But energy is up, material is up, that we see the infrastructures and those stock is not bad. I am Mushi Buyan, founder of this nonprofit organization, Urban Food Alliance. It's a food bank. We are located Central Jersey, New Jersey. If you like the content we share, please support our cause and support the people who we are serving. And Urban Hood is one of our educational platform where we not only offer education like this, help you to learn about money, help you to learn about stock market, learn about crypto, and then help you to understand money. We believe money matters, you matter. And every week when we bring that Wall Street week ahead talk, hopefully that as an informed investors, you not only get some value, and you someday you can take some low cost services that we are offering on our website urbanhood.org. Everything we are sharing educational purpose only. Everything we are sharing educational purpose only. Last month, Microsoft in from January till February, that we know since December market was going down because of this high inflation. Company like Microsoft has almost lost 7%. Google, business like all a top tier company, mega cap, the Google lost 5%. Amazon lost 7%. Tesla lost almost 22%. Home Depot lost 10%. Disney lost 5%. Apple lost 4%. And Netflix 28%. It lost in a month. So what that means, meaning every business or most of the business got hammered in last few months. And I'm sure if you are looking at your portfolio, you're suffering. I feel your pain. No one knows what's going to happen next week. No, we can predict, but by learning some of the things that what happened, what caused it, maybe you may not go through this panic sale. My goal is here to giving you some knowledge, some of the ideas that you can use that's going to help you to stay calm if thing gets worse. Same time, look at the some of the energy in industry, Chevron, Exxon Mobil, those are doing well. But do you keep buying them now, or you say, hey, maybe some of these, what happens, investors, they rotate their money sector to sector. We have seen last few years market all goes different direction. Market sometimes it works like a kangaroo, sometimes it just steady, it's consolidated. But at this moment, what we're seeing, market is consolidating. It doesn't have a direction if it's going to go up or it's going to go down because of all the other geopolitical and economic the data comes in is adds fear to the investors. So more about last week, what really happened last week. Microsoft last week, in a week, it lost 3%. Google in a week last week, it lost 6%. Facebook, we see that it's keep going down and down. Amazon, Tesla, all those big companies, medium companies and small companies suffered last week because of those scary data that CPI data came in that gave a signal that prices keep going higher and higher. Things where consumers are also at the same time are afraid. Should they invest or they should just save the money and just sit there to see what may happen next? And last Friday, after the whole Thursday's data, CPI data came in, added more shock, and also that shock about the war happening between Russia and that Ukraine, that some of you might be paying attention in what happens, that added more fear to the market. We might be facing another war if that happens, boom, what's gonna happen to the stock market? Of course, we know when things like this happen, if investors are afraid, there will be a lot of sell-off. So last week is on last Friday, it's a red day, very red day last Friday. A lot of sell-off happened. Google lost 3%, Amazon in a day lost almost 4%, Microsoft, Tesla, Home Depot, Apple, PayPal, and financial sector, JP Morgan, Bank of America. You look at every sector besides energy, pretty much most of them lost money last Friday. And what are the top gainers? Some of the stocks last week, what we saw Disney earnings came up much higher than expected, which is good. Disney looks like it is turning around. Some of the reshaping or refocus they're making in help in their favor. Disney stock last week is one of the top gainer, 5%, especially in semiconductor. That Micron Technology had almost 10% up last week. Their earnings came up great, which is rare. And their guidance forward also got even improved, which helped their stock. So some of the biggest loser that last week we see that the big tech, typical, all the big companies, Google, Microsoft, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, you name it, all of them are like top 5 losers. Now, as an investor, think of yourself. If you are an investor and you own this stock, that why would you want to sell this stock? Where you are investor for long term, next 18 months, 2 years. These are good company. Microsoft, yes, they are already got correction. And can it go down more? Yeah, it can go down more temporarily, then buy some more. But there is no reason that you should sell it at loss. You sell it maybe if you want to be more positive or more cautious, have a certain number that at what price that you are willing to sell, take your loss and just stay calm. Or just like having a snowstorm, we have a bad snow in the stock market, boom, it's going to go away. We know that snowstorm is not permanent. So same thing on the stock market. Some of the things are happening is not permanent. The key things is staying in the market, not stay out of the market. So market economy that you should be aware of next week, that we see that my country leaders worldwide is happening in UK, Europe, America, and here in America also different states governors are listening that the mask mandates, that they're relaxing that whole situation, that way you do not have a mask mandatory in places and public side. If you have your shot that you want to stay comfortable, is your choice, but government is not forcing you to have mask. So that's a good sign for economy, because at the same time also less fear to people that, hey, still are we getting worse, that more and more people are getting sick and dying, and is the country are able to put the people's safety under control. That's good thing. And we're seeing that inflation data, as we shared earlier, that some of the inflation data is shocking, the numbers. And with this rate, yes, it's turning up almost close to 8%. If Fed or your central bank, Federal Reserve, whatever your kind of institution managing your central the monetary policy, they have to do something about it. And we see that some of the countries are started raising interest, raising instead of even 50 basis points, some of them even 100 basis points are looking to increase. And current stock market in USA is trading in that assumption that very soon, yep, it's going to increase. The interest rate is going to be autopilot. It's not going to be zero, no change. So hence, yes, some of your favorite stock that you have in your portfolio might get affected. So this is even in more important for you as an investor to learn those company, learn the business, what are they doing to stay resilient, to stay so that way if there are a lot of sell-off, are you going to be buying more, or are you going to be take loss and just put your money on someplace else? So you need to be aware of that inflation. That's very concerning for all type of investors, and see what you can do to hedge your portfolio. So then it comes back to the next thing you need to start thinking of: what's the important this price going higher? Not everything, as things get settled down, that everything is not going to come down. Your rent, your landlord is increasing your rent. Do you think that your landlord is going to go back and say, hey, now that inflation is down, you pay me less rent? We know that it never happens. I'm not saying not it's not going to happen. There are certain things is price is not going to come down. So when those things doesn't price does not come down, your salary, your wage, the money you make, that increase of wage that we see that Amazon and other large big cap are trying to attract talent, giving more increasing the wage and the salary, that's not going to come down. So when that happens, yes, there are other areas that you and I as a consumer have to think about. Is bottom line. As an investor, their EPS data, their the revenue data is going to be, it gets affected. So okay, think of that everything has a ripple effect. And then some of the things that you need to be aware of when this inflation goes higher, that QT is has to be have under the control. This QT in Fed QT, that they have been pumping more money and buying more equity, buying more bond, has to be controlled. When I say QT, I mean quantitative tightening. Fed has to get handle of this control, that they have to stop pumping more money, stop buying more bond and equity. That is called quantitative tightening. Get handle of that. You see, and global supply chain and geopolitics happening among other countries. In Russia, what Russia is doing with Ukraine, and in a way Russia 2014, what they have done and today is much different. So some of the lesson learned, why Russia failed in 2014 versus today, they are in better position. That also added more fear to the leaders in Europe, in USA, and other worldwide, that they are having a lot of meetings, seminars in Europe as we speak, and Biden is going to be in coming week in Europe to meet more leaders and defense ministers, so on. So they are is under the radar. That's also add fear to the market. Inflation, price increase, supply chain, high grocery price, job reports are coming up. Some of them are giving shocking numbers that cause the stock market not to act normal. So nothing normal in this current market. So you gotta pay attention on that. So next week, that what are we seeing as far as investors, that earnings are coming up, more earnings coming up. We see that retail, that because of the price increase, that a lot of retailers, or especially consumers, are more concerned about spending their money. So now is the time to show, after big tech coming up great numbers in retail market, are we seeing consumers are willing to buy more and keep buying with high price. So starting Monday and to Friday, a lot of retail, more than 200s that are companies earnings are coming up, but some of the key earnings that is going to be, at least people are going to be watching. Marriott on Tuesday is coming before earning that. Let's see in tourism hotel industry, how are people accepting that? Is this how's Marriott earnings coming? And some of the pet food product like Zoetis is we see that their earnings are also coming on Tuesday before earning market open. And after market close on Tuesday in Roblox and Airbnb and Solar Edge, some of these different business, their earnings are also coming up to show that in fintech like Upstart is another one, is also earnings coming that people are going to be watching. So how are they going to react in this current market? And one of the thing also that on Tuesday, the Peloton earning also coming. So we'll see how Peloton is doing and so on. And on Wednesday that we'll see that Shopify, that big e-commerce is, how is their number coming? And we saw that stock lies with the still from 800 to 1400, like it moves so fast, so quick. Like Shopify, Canadian company, Hilton earnings coming in, and some of those who heard about AMC. AMC is earnings also coming on Wednesday, and after market close on Wednesday, the Nvidia is a cheap market. That's another one big one that need to keep an eye, that how is their earnings coming this coming week. We saw the last week in some of those semiconductor earnings came up great, and in on the top gainer part, we saw that it was good. But this week is Nvidia is one of them. All investors are watching, and we are going to keep and see that Cisco, Fastly, Starbucks, those some of their earnings are coming also this coming. You might want to keep an eye on. And DoorDash is another one in consumer side retailer is you are going to see. On Thursday, the Fiverr is work from home stock. A lot of people are saw that huge growth on that company. How are they doing? Their earnings are coming in. And then after market on Thursday, big one is going to be Roku. We're going to see that Walmart also coming up with their earnings, and we are going to see Redfin and Keysight, Dropbox, bunch of companies. Their earnings are going to make a huge difference. That we're to see, is this market still is resilient, where investors are not afraid. They're not afraid of current geopolitical situation, and it's ready to keep going higher. Our market is ready to turn around. So what happens in worldwide next week? We'll see that in Asia market that the Omicron is settled down, and because of that, countries are able to take it under control. Especially in Australia. Australia's stock market is going to be reopening this week. This is a good sign. We have seen that China and Hong Kong market came reopened couple weeks ago. Now Australia is opening their market. That's a good sign. But China and Hong Kong, we've seen that they have this COVID zero policy. So we are seeing Australia and other countries are also getting relaxed with their reopen, but at the same time, it's not like they forgot. They are keeping everything without control. So hopefully these numbers, the people people's safety, health, and all those things is getting also under control. And the other thing we're going to see in Asia, that Asia economical data is coming up, especially job number that some of the job number Japan is going to be releasing, and they're going to also releasing in China and India, releasing their economical data, inflation data, and the peers CPI data. How's that happening? And what's happening? Hopefully, some of them might be better shape than what we're facing in America, and that will also affect them their increased rate of their money, controlling their monetary policy. So in Europe market, that this year, the next week, that we're going to see that Biden is going to be meeting a lot of world leaders to see what they can do to control this tension between Russia and Ukraine, and just making sure it's under control and we do not face another World War III. So this is going to be a busy week in Europe, and in Europe also a lot of earnings are coming up, and especially Heineken, the beer earnings, and Airbus, and many other the large company that they're looking at, their earnings also coming this coming week. So that also going to give indication that are they getting that much affected like America, or maybe what we are seeing that is Europe market and an American stock market is almost trading the same. But last few months data that it looks like American market stock market is getting more storm, more up and down than the Europe market is more steady in Europe market. So hopefully this data are going to give more confidence in the European market, and maybe in the emerging market also some of the investors have better confidence to invest in that area. And the NATO is going to have a 2 days conference with all the different countries, more than 50 countries, defense ministers, to figure out what they need to do in order to support or ease up the tension between Russia and Ukraine. Hopefully we are not facing another war. That will be good for stock market, and that will be good for investor, that will be good for people lives. So in America, a lot of retail numbers are going to coming in, economical data that it's going to see, we are going to see in month of January, February, is the retailers, those people are still spending in January after the December holiday sale, that it was number was down. Is this January the same trend, or a lot of people stayed with the estimate that what they're thinking that, okay, now investors or consumers are still spending money, they're not afraid of circulating more money in the system. Hopefully market is going to be stable, and that also going to give more ammunition for Fed to see what they need to do, control this whole labor market, and that the inflation data and the rate, are they going to increase 100 basis point or 50 basis point on starting March. And this week also Fed is going to be releasing their last month, January month meeting decision minutes. That's something as an investor that you need to keep an eye to see if that gets the shocking that increasing rate is starting this month. We might see another turbulence in the stock market. We're seeing on SPY the last week SPY that it came down from starting the weekly, it came down from 454, it stayed 435 to 454, 460 range. So it was never able to stay above 450. So one of the things that we mentioned last week, if you see that SPY stays above 450, we might see that market is turning around, going positive. But since it could not stay there, it went down. It went down, closed almost below 440 or 440 last week. That is down. So what we see currently on the short term, we see that that SPY does not know the direction. It doesn't know which direction it should be. It's trading between 400, 440 to 460 range last week. So the same this week that we may will see that if things data does in short term, some of the areas is oversold area where SPY is has a lot of sell out and it has to be settled down. Hopefully is ready to turn around. So this coming week that if some of the economical data and retail data comes up with positive, we might see that market slowly might turn around this week. This week at least come to close to around 445 for 450 in that range, 452 range. But if it goes down, we might say that it can go down on the downside is around 430 area. It can go down. Okay, so that and what we see on Nasdaq is the similar trend. It's still is downtrending. It's going down. It needs to be around. It's trading between it was trading between 349 to 374 on QQQ. But what we have seen last Friday or last week, whole market down, the sell off on the big tech, because most of the big tech is the one taking heavy weight on Nasdaq, because they went down. It might have a more bad thing happen unless the pivot point is around 350 55 area. If it cannot stay around there 350 to 355, you might see that Nasdaq is going down more and more turbulence and more sell-off is happening through the market. So what else we see in small market, Russell 2000. On Russell 2000, what we see that slowly on the short term it looks like Russell is turning around, and the consumer confidence going higher. So it is on the short term side, it's ready to come back up, but it has to be above 200. That's one of the things that we see on the turning point. If it can stay above 200 to 210 areas, that Russell 2000 is we are going to see on the positive side. But for now, on over long term, that Russell is also 2000 is trading between, you say, the 240 to 200 price area, but looks like it is ready to turn back up. Hopefully there will be some good news, and world leaders can take this whatever are happening in outside their control. Is one of them. IronNet. IronNet is the IT technology company, but if you are looking at what's happening in Gulf, that they made a huge investment and that agreement with some of the GCC countries that they are going to have their product and services for them. But look at this stock from $47. From $47 is back below $4. But for weeks, that is trading between $4, between $3 to $5 range. So it's been happening last few weeks, almost months, since it was below in November last month. So this is a stock that we see slowly investors are investing in, and they're keeping an eye on this one. So if you are looking at technology company that's robust and is not very high PE and it has some potential, you might want to keep an eye on this stock. So what do we see this coming week in this stock? this coming week that you'll see that this stock might be coming back to $4 be is trading. If it stay above 3.65, it is ready to go again close to around $4.50. So this is something, yeah, you might want to keep an eye this coming week. iSun is another ISUN stock. It's an energy stock, but if we see that this is stock happen is from $13 range to $5 range for weeks, month, right? So this is a stock we saw that a lot of investors putting their interest. So there might be news or event coming in, but what we see on technically on short term, we see is ready from $5 to $6 range that it can come back up. So if you see this stock, or if you are looking at buy this stock, if you can get it around $5 range, that $4.90 to $5 and sit there, hopefully you might be able to at least get for weeks that you might get some benefit. But if it goes on the downside, that you want to put your stop loss, if it goes down below $4.50 areas, you might want to just move on, that maybe this is not the best trade that you want to. But the key things that you want to look for 450 price target. If it goes below 450, get out. It's not the best trade that this coming week you might want to consider. And the stocks that ARKK is ARK, that we have seen that this stock, this is Cathy Wood in ARK founder, that they got hammered at this ETF. But starting from $130, and it was when last year in June time, and then last year in November it was over $124. It's bad. It came down to all the way $64, but since January 24th that it looks like it touched the bottom, and slowly it's recovering, as we see some of those consumer discretionary, especially Amazon and the Tesla is trying to recover their going higher side. This ETF is also is turning around. So you might want to keep an eye on this, that if this week that it goes around 68, 69, it will be great price to get in. And then that if it come back up when it's on the upside, yeah, it does have a chance that it can go over 80, 82, first 82, and then it can go higher to 84 and above. But this is a stock that this coming week you can keep an eye on. And next one I want to share lastly, that Tesla. I know that it's many of us Tesla fan, and we know what they're doing. But over weekly, it looks like Tesla is struggling to stay above, go above 900 to 1,000. And last few weeks, because of the economy and some of the news catalysts came in, it didn't work in their favor. Just like every other company we have seen, there's Apple, Microsoft, and all those big tech company got hammered. So Tesla, that what do we see this coming week? Yeah, it is in a downtrending for short term. But we know that Tesla is never follows on many times. It doesn't follow the technical. It moves very fast on the upside, downside. But currently, if Tesla cannot stay above 800, if you see that Tesla goes below 800, Tesla can come down to around 740 on the downside. But on the upside, if we see Tesla can come back to this coming week over 900, 910, then Tesla has to go 930. And Tesla, if it's Tesla 930, then one of the biggest thing Tesla is 948, 950 range. If Tesla stay above 951 this coming week, 951, then Tesla is ready to turn back up, 998, 991, 99, 2000 is upside, else it might be trading within the range. We see that if we see last few weeks, Tesla is traded within a range of 874 to 940. If you're following Tesla, you'll see that whole starting when the starting January, Tesla is trading within this range very, very strong, that within this range, just Tesla, next week, we might see that Tesla is coming back within the range that around 870, 900, and just trading between below 950. So it's almost like $100 range, that is moving. So you might want to keep an eye on that. It's very scary. You may have to keep an eye on this, what's happening in inflation data. You have to keep an eye on the price, the price index, the price inflation, and the inflation, the CPI data on the price of consumer price. Is this everything is not going to come down? Some of the rent, salary is not going to come down. So what may happen with some of the business that in those area, if those business stock is in your portfolio. And as far as buying in the cheaper, that if you are into technical, that you might want to see if there are any stocks around 200-day moving average. Those stocks and business, learn about those business and see if are they resilient with this current market. If they are, they have a more chance to stay within that price range, and hopefully when market turn around, bounce back, these stocks is going to pay you well. And there's things that you need to look into is still value, understand what is the value versus growth. When Fed increase their rate and then started taking a control of their QT, and on the QT, how's that going to affect with this current stock? The Fed know that they have to bring inflation down to around 3%. If they do, they are going to be increasing the rate starting very soon. When that is become autopilot, those business who has a high PE is going to get affected. So understand the risk. How much money are you risking to invest? And is the stock you have it, if it goes certain price, know that at what time are you willing to sell it. Maybe just come when you make an investment, it didn't go in your favor, then just fine, you get out very quickly rather than thinking that, oh my God, what's gonna happen. No, if you have a conviction that the certain business like Apple is very strong company, we know that Apple is coming up a lot of new product line. We know Apple is going to have their innovation day, their dev day is coming in. So when those things happen, they are going to come up with a new service. They are going to come up with a new innovation. They're going to come up with share with the new ways that they are going to generate more revenue, and they're resilient with this current rate. They are not dependent on what's going to happen with the current inflation rate. So these are the business going to bounce back, and then you are going to have that higher confidence knowing that yes, the Tesla might not, Apple might go down more, but it's a good business and it's a good price. Let's take advantage of it. So now let's turn our back to crypto. So what's going to happen? We have seen that crypto market last week it performed well. It's turned 2% up, which is good. It was around the 34, 35 range, and it became back to about 42 one Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is one of the biggest thing for Bitcoin this coming week is if Bitcoin stay above 45,000. If Bitcoin stay above 45,000, hopefully this crypto market is turning around, and it's good that there are strong buyers confidence this is a is this not crypto is not going to go getting worse like what others projected. And we see for others, Ethereum also, it came back up close to 3,000, and then it came down for last week, but still it's a good sign. And others, Ethereum, Binance, and then Cardano, and then it's Solana, Polkadot, all those is did very well last week. So you might want to at least know that yes, Polkadot, yeah, last week it did not do well. It had 11% down, but if you believe in that project, you know what they're going to do in future. That's something that you might want to consider adding in your portfolio. Then you have Cardano. Cardano is a great project that a lot of that innovation they're making in that sector might be a good one to consider. But then what we are seeing also other slowly not only institutions or finance industry are slow coming up with the product and services around crypto asset. Uber CEO announced last week that they are going to thinking to start accepting crypto type of payment as another payment system, which is great. That more and more business when it comes like this, the crypto is not here to go away. So you might want to consider to learn more about crypto and join us. What we covered so far, we talked about market economy, we talked about stocks, and we talked about some of the futures. And then we talked about in the real estate world that we talked about that real estate market and when things happens, and on the QT side, that rent industry is not going to go down. And we also wanting to let you know that when QT happens, we see that Fed is investing good amount of money in the credit market where they're investing in to keep the mortgage stable. But know that when Fed takes control of this mortgage industry is buying those bad mortgage, and this stuff is not going to go well. That means real estate, certain area of the real estate is going to get affected. So that also something that you might want to keep an eye on this, and then find opportunities where you feel like that is going to give you a higher return. And the crypto, we talked about the crypto that crypto overall last week it showed a good sign that is ready to turn around. So next step for you, that if you feel like anything I shared and is helpful, that come visit us on our website urbanhood.org. And on that website, when you go, you'll see that event, and we have many events that located on our meetup financial freedom for you. On that financial freedom for you meetups has a session that ties with Think and Grow Rich, that ties with financial literacy, that also has included some of the personal development coaching, group coaching sessions that we offer to our members on the website. If you like what we shared, join us. Why do you join us? We have not only daily learnings every day when market opens from 9:30 till 4 p.m. that we have a live chat, live groups where we broadcast what happens. We have other folks who is active trader and investors, day traders, swing traders, and investor, all type of investors, whether it is stock market, crypto, are part of that live internal chats, join us, and we focus on also that goals, on your goal, help you to make money. The educational classes happen after market close every day, Monday to Thursday. Take a journey with us and reduce your effort of growing and learning money. So you matter, money matter. Thank you for being with us. If you like this video, please like it, share with someone that you care about. I will see you next time. Bye.